Hello and welcome back to my sewing corner. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. If you're an OG, thank you for coming once again. And I hope you find this video useful. And if you do, please don't forget to click on the like button and also share with your friends. They might also find it useful. So today, without wasting time, I'm going to be sharing with us how to make a one-sided cow kaftan gown. Okay, so if you haven't seen it, I'm going to link you with this video. So instead of having both sides of the dress being cow kaftan, this one you're going to have one side pencil and the other side cow kaftan. The other side is going to cow, it's going to drape. So I recommend that you use a light fabric and a stretchy fabric. So yeah, I have my pattern paper, as you can all see, and I folded it into four. Okay, so I have four layers for the front and for the back. Okay, you can see one, two, three, four. And I've also marked out my prominent point. So I have my starting line here, or your shoulder line. This is the half-inch joining allowance. I have my chest line here, or your armhole line. I have my bust point. I have my half length, the hip line, the knee length, and the gown length. So I'm actually using a small size so that the camera can capture everything at once. I don't want to use a big measurement where I won't be seeing the whole measurement. So this is not a real or a standard measurement. I'm just using something that we can all that will make us all see, that you can see is the length of the workspace. So it's better we get something that we can all benefit from. I hope we all understand that. So next I'm going to come to this shoulder line and take my shoulder measurements. So the shoulder measurements I'm working with in this project is 6 inches. So I'm going to just measure that, mark that 6 inches plus half-inch joining allowance. That's 6.5. All right, take the same 6.5 at the chest line because you're going to connect in a straight line to get your armhole line. And from that armhole line, you get your armhole curve. All right. So the next thing, you're going to mark your shoulder slope here. So I've already marked it. This is my shoulder, 1 inch for shoulder slope. But because this is this is an adjusted measurement, so I'm using half-inch. But the constant is 1 inch, please. So it's from that 1 inch that you measure whatever you have left. So I should have about 3.5. So half of that is like 1 3/4. So I'm going to mark that. This is 1 3/4. Now you come in by half-inch or 3/4, depending on your body size and your bust circumference. So I'll come in by half-inch here, and I'll come in and take my bust circumference on this chest line. Okay, so my bust circumference here is 7.5. All right. Now I'll connect my armhole curve. So just connect the dots, connect this to this and then to this point. All right. All right, so now this is the armhole curve. Now you come here and you take your neck width. So I'm just going to work with 3 inches. All right, 3 inches plus half-inch sewing allowance. Now from this neck width, I'm going to connect to my 1 inch shoulder slope. You remember? So just going to connect it like so. And then after connecting it, just take your shoulder joining allowance of half-inch like so. Can you see that? So that's the reason why I left this half-inch from the beginning. Then you take your neck depth. It all depends on what you want to use. I'm going to use 2.5. And then you also connect it. It all depends on how you want it. So now we're done with the neckline and the armhole area. So I'll come to my half length and take my a quarter of my waist circumference. Okay, and for this measurement is 6 because the waist circumference is 24. So you know you folded your pattern paper into 4, so you need to take a quarter of that. Okay. Now for this style, you don't need to add that, all right? But you can choose to add that to the one side that is straight, to the one side that is straight. So you can choose to add that to the side that is straight. That is left to you. It's optional. So, but I'm not going to be adding that. But if you want to add that, just give your that allowance. It's simple. All right. So then you give your ease allowance. Let's just give it 1.5. It depends on you. You can give it. So that means I'm having half-inch for seam allowance and 1 inch for ease allowance. So you can decide to make it 2 inches. Then you come to your hip line and take your hip circumference. All right, for this measurement is 7. Sorry, it's 8 plus 1.5. Now you just subtract 1 inch or 1.5 from your hip line to get your knee circumference. So it depends on how fitted you want it to be. So in total here I have 9.5. I'm just going to mark 8 inches here, or 8.5. So I'm going to connect the line, straighten that line like so. Then you come and curve those sharp edges. You don't want sharp edges in your when you're drafting. All right, so now that we have made our basic bodies, as you can see, this is our gown pattern. Now for the cowl, now you're going to determine the fullness you want, determine how much you would even have folded from the beginning. I should have said that earlier. So if you want it to be very full, you want to drape very well, you want the drape to be heavy, you can use times 2 of your measurements. But now what you're going to do here, so I'm going to open it up so that we can all see. Okay, so you can see that I have opened it up. This side is going to be the straight gown side, and this side will be the one that will drape. So what I'm just going to do is to extend these lines to this point. Don't forget I still have my 2 layers. So I'm just going to continue the neckline on this side because they're going to have the same neckline. So now that I've set out the neckline, now we're going to continue the cowl. Now you will determine your sleeve, where you want the cowl to get to. So if you want it to be long sleeve, that means this side that is straight is going to have a sleeve, but this one being a cowl side, it will not have sleeve. So whatever length you want for your sleeve, make sure you use that same length here. So let me see what I have left here. Here I have 9/4 left here. I have 9/4 left here. I know that from that 9/4, I'm still going to take my shoulder measurement, what I have left. So I have 3 inches for my shoulder measurement. Let me just mark it. I'm not going to need to roll it out. So it's that shoulder measurement that you will take your sleeve length. So that means for the sleeve length, I have about 6/4. I have about 6/4 for the sleeve length. So that means whatever sleeve you be making for this side, it will be short sleeve or 6 inches length. Okay. So now that being said, you come here and you just measure your round sleeve of that length. Okay, so you take your tape rule, measure where 6 inches gets to. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want your sleeves to be longer, that means you have more fabric on the side. This is what I have. This is what I have left. I have 6/4 inches left. So if you want it to be longer than that, that means you should have more pattern paper or fabric at the side. All right. So you come and then you take your sleeve opening for that measurement, whatever your round sleeve for that length is. You take it. So it's about, let's say, 4 inches. It's about 8 inches and divided by 2. That's 4 inches. Make sure you had your ease allowance. Okay, so you just come in by half or 1 inch. It depends on your hemming allowance. So just come in by, let's just give this one 1/2 inch because already it's small. So you just come in by 1/2 inch. I believe you can all see that you come in by 1/2 inch. Now, once you've come in like that, you're going to remember this is our chest line, this is the bust point, this is the half length, this is the hip line, and this is the knee length. So you come and then you connect this up to your hip line. Once your hip line is covered, you don't have any issues because that place must not be tight. So once your hip line is covered very well, you can then pencil out the other part. So you come and then you just curve it. Now you will need to take whatever your knee circumference here is. Now this is the center line, don't forget. Let me show you. We just demarcate it like this so that everybody will see it. That's the center line. So let's take what we have here. So it has to be equal. So we have 8.5 here for the knee length. So you come here as well. and you measure that 8.5. So you're going to connect this curve to that 8.5. Okay? So you're just going to connect it. It all depends on how you want it. Can you see? Now this is where your drip will come in. Then you just connect this one straight to the base of your gown like we did for the side. Alright? So let me just connect that using my ruler. Okay, so this is what you have for your one-sided um, cow kaftan dress. So I'm going to cut it out now for us to see. Remember, I have two layers. This is one layer. This will be for the back, and this is for the front. And one side of both the front and back will be straight. The other side will be drapey, will be a kaftan. So let's cut it out now, and I'll show you what it looks like. So you can see, first you slit that 1/2 inch, then you go in slowly, and then you just follow the curves, the lines. Okay, so let's cut the neckline. So you can choose to fold the neckline to cut it out. Okay, then for the shoulder slope, this should have shoulder slope. So now for the shoulder slope, if you watched my video on that kind kaftan, you come down by 1.5 at this extreme end. And that is because it is longer than your normal shoulder measurement. It is wider. I mean, if this was a shoulder measurement, you just come down by 1 inch, but you're coming to this extreme end here. That means you should be longer than this one, should be, more than the 1 inch. So you come down by 1.5 here. Okay, so now this is my mistake because now this is going to affect the sleeve opening here. So please make sure you don't make that mistake in yours. What it means is that before you take your sleeve opening measurements, take your shoulder slope first. So you just connect this to this point here. Okay, simple. It's not a difficult. Just connect it to that point there. Then you take your 1/2 inch um, join allowance. That's it. That's it. So let me just cut it out. Okay, so this is it. Let me show you very well. So that way you won't have a high shoulder here. It will be balanced. Okay, so let's cut this other side of the dress. Okay, so this is what we have. So by the time you join the front and the back together, this side will drape naturally. So don't bother about it to drape on its own. So don't forget that you're going to cut your sleeve. So if you need a tutorial on how to cut a sleeve, I'm going to link you with this video as well. Please make sure to check it out so that you know how to cut your sleeve. And that's it, guys. So this is what you have. So make sure, don't forget, your sleeve length should be the same length as your um cowl length, your cowl sleeve length. Remember, you take your cowl sleeve length after you take your shoulder measurement, and that is why I marked this point here, because that is what I have for my shoulder line. Whatever you have here, make sure you measure it here. Just mark it out. After that point, take your sleeve length. All right. So that's it, and I've come to the end of this video of the tutorial. If you find it useful, please don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment for me. I would love to hear from you. And if you haven't subscribed, please click on the red subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.